Hello, everybody. I think we're about ready to start. We're right on time this morning, and we have some very welcome announcement. But first, it is my pleasure to introduce the mayor of the Village of Peoria Heights, Mike Phelan.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. As Mike said, I'm Mike Phelan. I have one of the best jobs in the world. I'm the mayor of Peoria Heights, and I want to thank you all for being here to welcome Congressman LaHood to Peoria Heights. Just a couple of remarks and acknowledgments. I do want to acknowledge, I don't see Senator Kaler here yet. I know he was invited and expected to come. A friend of mine from my county board years, who I can now proudly say is the chairman of the county board, Jimmy Dillon. Thank you for being here, Jimmy. And a special shout out to all of my friends in the building trades for being here. We appreciate that, and we hope we put a lot of tradespeople to work on this project. Next, I'd like to acknowledge members of the Peoria Heights Village Board, Brandon Weisenberg, Sarah DeVore, Mark Goff, Jeff Gett, Stephanie Turner, our clerk, Matt Wigington. Is Matt here? Am I missing anyone else that I don't see? This forward-thinking board of leaders, a couple of years ago, embarked on a plan to adopt a comprehensive plan for the Village of Peoria Heights. That was a deep dive into the community where we engaged a lot of stakeholders, had about a year of public meetings and input. The board then adopted that comprehensive plan and followed that up with a strategic planning session where we adopted strategic and SMART goals. A couple of those goals were for Galena Road, where we hope to develop that area with both residential and commercial development and evolve that into a green eco-tourist destination. We also paid a lot of attention to War Memorial Drive, where we have 30,000+ cars travel through that area a day. We extended our TIF districts over to that way in our business development district. That area is now progressing nicely. Beck Oil will be locating over there and some other developments. Those announcements will be forthcoming in the future when the developers are ready to make those announcements. But I really believe that the heart of a community is in its downtown area. And here we gather this morning off of Grandview Drive, the world's most beautiful drive, on Prospect Road, which the board has designated and branded as the ACE Corridor, arts, culinary, and entertainment. And I might be so bold to say that nowhere between Chicago and St. Louis, between the Quad Cities and Indianapolis, will you find better food, entertainment, and be able to appreciate fantastic artwork. So this announcement this morning by Congressman LaHood is vitally important to the community. It's important to Prospect Road and the community. It will improve the quality of life. It will generate more sales tax revenue, make a better downtown, make the road more safe and accessible. So we're very excited to have Congressman LaHood here to help share this good news with us. And incidentally, you can have a good plan, but if you don't have relationships in place at the federal and state level where people can bring funds to you to help accomplish this vision and help achieve these goals, it just can't happen. I can't thank Congressman LaHood enough for being such a good friend of Peoria Heights, and honored to have you here this morning, Congressman.
Well, thank you, Mayor Phelan, and let me just welcome everybody here today in the Village Hall. And happy to be out of Washington, D.C. and in Peoria Heights this morning. Just got back late last night. But just a couple things that I want to say and then make the announcement on the federal dollars coming back here to Peoria Heights. Working with Mayor Phelan and the village trustees and the officials here has really been a great opportunity for our office to engage on how we can help improve Peoria Heights here. But in a lot of ways, it's easy because of the work and the progress that's been done here in Peoria Heights. All of us that live in the area acknowledge and know what's gone on here in Peoria Heights. The tremendous growth that we've had here in Peoria Heights, whether it's the dining opportunities, whether it's the entertainment, whether it's the growth here in Peoria Heights, whether it's the vibrancy that you see here, not only in the summertime, but throughout the year. You couple that with the Rock Island Trail and how many people use that trail and how it cuts through the heart of Peoria Heights here. And so this is really a collaboration, and Mike alluded to it, working together here at the local level and the federal level to help bring dollars back here to help improve our community. And what we look at the federal level is an investment of taxpayer money that comes back here to Peoria Heights, but looking at what is that investment going to do? Well, I could tell you definitively that the money that we're bringing back here is going to help to produce more economic opportunity here, more restaurants, more people moving here to the Heights, and that's going to create more tax growth and more opportunity for people to live and thrive and prosper here in Peoria Heights. And so last year, Mayor Phelan and his team came to us and said, hey, we want to improve the road from War Memorial Road about a mile all the way up to about where we're at right now. We took that proposal, we submitted that to the House Appropriations Committee. We testified before the Appropriations Committee to talk about what that's going to mean. We were fortunate enough to get that included in the bill, and so $2 million will come back to Peoria Heights to upgrade this road. And for me, that is money well spent on this project. And so proud to announce today that $2 million in federal dollars are coming back here to Peoria Heights. But listen, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of your taxpayer money. But I would justify that and defend that any day of the week when I look at where that money's being spent at and how that's being done. So where's that going to go to? We can get into technicalities of that, but it's going to upgrade the sidewalks from War Memorial all the way up here, make it more user-friendly, more pedestrian-friendly. It's going to work on the sewer system along the way, the beautification and the streetscape, the streetscape beautification that'll go on. So it will be money that is well spent and well used in this community. And so I am honored, and it's a privilege to represent Peoria Heights, to work with the leadership here in Peoria Heights, and to make this announcement today. And I can't wait to see that money put to good use, but the growth that's going to continue to occur here in Peoria Heights. And frankly, in my district, I represent 21 counties. My district now goes from Peoria to Bloomington Normal all the way up to Rockford. But Peoria Heights ought to be an example for other communities throughout this state on working together in a collaborative way, whether it's here at the village level, with the Tri-County Regional Planning, with the county board level, and at the federal level. That collaboration is at work here in Peoria Heights, and we see the success right down the road here where that money's being spent. So again, happy to be here today. Congratulations to Peoria Heights. Congratulations to you, Mayor, and look forward to continued progress. Thank you.
If the media has questions, or anybody else for that matter, come on up. And this is Mayor Phelan, Congressman LaHood, and Wayne Aldrich, our Community Development Director here in the Heights. So if you have questions, please feel free. Come on up, guys.
We can also talk about Bradley basketball if we want to today, right? Go Braves.
I guess how long has this project been in the works from start to finish, so the first discussions to the announcement today?
So this is a good opportunity for me to recognize Wayne Baum. Wayne was a member of the village board a couple of decades ago, Wayne, and had this idea of improving Prospect. It was in its infancy then. At that point, probably the village didn't have the funds and it didn't go anywhere. It resurfaced back when we engaged Hostel Levine, which is a firm out of Chicago, to help us do that comprehensive plan and to help us do some small area studies. I don't know if Eric Miller is here with Tri-County. Eric, thank you. I should have recognized you earlier. Another extended member of our staff here. So they helped us do some looks at different parts of the community, and Prospect Road was one of those areas where we took a look at. So we felt that our downtown was growing. We were attracting good local family-owned businesses to the area, and we wanted to continue to build on that success. So out of the comprehensive plan, as I said, the village board drilled down deeper and made that one of the priorities in our strategic plan.
So following up on that, when will the work get started and how long is it expected to take?
So this is actually what we would call phase one of the project for this particular funding. Phase one is a stage that's required in most all federal projects, especially roadway projects. So Phase 1 is conceptual engineering, going through all the federal studies that are required for a project of this type. So there's 3 phases of a project. This is phase 1, the preliminary engineering phase. Then there is a phase 2 that covers the actual plan preparation and specifications. Then phase 3 is construction. So phase 1 can take a while, take about a year to a year and a half on typical projects. And then phase 2 we anticipated about a year. So at that schedule, it would be like 2026 before construction would start. And that depends on other funding sources, hopefully federal funding sources. But it's important to note that if you do phase 1, it really sets yourself up well for getting other federal or state funding. So that's a very important step in the project.
And how long would you expect construction then after that?
A project like this, depending, I mean, this could be a phased project or staged, but a job, if this goes the full 1.1 miles, would be maybe a year and a half to 2-year project.
And you said this $2 billion is just the funding for portion of phase, or for
Phase 1, yes.
So what is the expected overall cost for the entire project?
The overall cost could be upwards of $20 million, depending again on if it's staged and how that comes about. But we'll be working with the Illinois Department of Transportation and the Federal Highway Administration on this project, and all those questions will be answered in the phase 1.
The only thing that I was just going to add to that is you asked when this got started. We worked in early 2022, so a little over a year ago, we worked with the village on the application process for the federal dollars. So it's a lengthy application process to qualify and justify the federal dollars. But a lot of it looks at how is this going to create economic growth? What is this going to do for the community? Is everybody on board on that? And so we obviously put that application together, working with the Heights here and with Tri-County. And again, the Appropriations Committee was impressed with that application, approved that application, and the $2 million. So that's really what. So a little over a year ago is when we started with the federal partnership on seeking these dollars.
Any concerns going into phase 1 of construction and analysis? Anything you're going to be looking to target specifically?
Yes, many things. So the Congressman mentioned improved sidewalks. We talk about complete streets. That's kind of a term that we use, which really means a design that's meant for everyone. We traditionally in the transportation industry, we dwelt on cars and trucks, moving cars and trucks. Now we're thinking more about pedestrians, bikes, mass transit. So all those modes of transportation are very important to us. So this project will be done under those guidelines. We'll look at other things, our infrastructure system in this roadway. We'll look at clean water issues, stormwater runoff, things like that. So there's various things, of course, that we'll look at, all under, guidelines by the Federal Highway Administration, things like that. So we'll look at many things. There was a conceptual streetscape design for the Central Business District that will guide this work. So all the work the mayor mentioned that in the planning stages, previous planning stages, we'll look at that again and confirm that, that's what we want to do.
Question, you're going to be taking that section from Lake to Glen and converting it from 4 lanes down to 3. How is that going to impact traffic flow?
Again, that'll be studied. That's not a foregone conclusion at this point to make that what in many cases is a 5-lane section. Do you take that down to two traffic lanes? That's something that will be studied. The traffic analysis will be performed during this phase to confirm those, what people think may happen. Thanks.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Could you just, could you say and spell your name and give me your title?
My name's Wayne Aldrich, W-A-Y-N-E, Aldrich, A-L-D-R-I-C-H, Community Development Director for the Heights. Thanks.
I have a question for Mayor Phelan. I know the village used to have, or maybe still has, a fund that assists business owners in improving the outside other businesses. Will this be impacted at all? Are you going to be asking businesses to try to, I don't know, conform with whatever the cityscape is going to look like?
I think you're referring to the Business Development District funds, which
Yes.
can include facade improvements. I'll let Wayne drill down a little deeper, but what we have here is created some business development districts. That is monies generated by additional sales tax imposed in that geographical area. The village doesn't scoop up those monies and use them elsewhere. We invest them back into the business community, and those funds are very healthy. They're doing nicely. They help us also bring additional economic development to the village using those monies on other new development. Wayne, would you add to that?
Yeah, and those funds will still be kind of reserved for the private side. This is the public side, the street side. You know, on the private side, we hope this will inspire new development as well as renovation of existing businesses, things like that, through the use of these BDD funds or other TIF funds that the village has now. So again, we look at everything, but if folks are wanting to upgrade their facades, things like that, we really want to talk to you and help with that.
Congressman, they said the $2 million is just for the federal part for the phase one. Well, do you foresee any additional federal funding coming for the other phases?
Well, with these community funding projects, it's not the intent of the law to have it all funded by the federal government. It has to be collaboration. There has to be input at every level. And that's really what this is all about, collaboration, as I said in the beginning, of working with the state, the county, the local village here in a collaborative effort. That's what all of these projects are predicated on. And so the federal government can help, but only part way. So I would say this would be the extent of this project. But as the village looks at other projects here on economic development, obviously we'll be involved and be helpful as we can with those.
If I may add, Congressman LaHood is, and I appreciate the question, Congressman LaHood is a good steward of public monies, as we think we are here. And this was a competitive process. I want to give credit to Wayne and to Mike Bailey for helping write the narrative to convince Congressman LaHood to fund this project. But we are also investing our own monies in the project because we feel very strongly about this. A rising tide lifts all boats, and again, we feel this is going to generate a lot of sales tax revenue for the village where we can reinvest. Not only does that help us with economic development, that's really how we pay our bills. That's how we put police on the street. That's how we pay firefighters for public safety. That's how we repair roads, et cetera. So this is just good all the way around.
The congressman mentioned upgrades to sidewalks. Can you go into a little bit of the detail of what those upgrades entail? Is it more than just tearing them up and rebuilding them?
Well, I think primarily looking at sidewalks, and I like to refer to all these things as really modes of transportation. So sidewalks are very important, so we could widen the sidewalks. I think that's something that is really important to just have a wider sidewalk, more comfortable to walk on, especially in the central business district here. That's important. Accessibility is super important. So putting in ramps with the required ramps, things like that, is very important. So all people of different types of mobility can get around easily. So those are really the primary things of sidewalks. Also getting people to the trail system. I think the comprehensive plan called for bike lanes along this roadway piece. The congressman mentioned the Rock Island Trail. That's a transportation corridor. So all these things kind of leading together and connecting every different aspect, that's important.
Could the bike trail or the bike lanes be part of this $2 million as well?
We hope so. Yes, that's something that we'll put a high priority to, is bike lanes and that type of transportation as well. And I think that's important, again, because of the Rock Island Trail and Central Business District and other trails in the community, is to get folks here and get them to where they need to be. It's not just recreation, but that's important, but it's also transportation too.
If I may tag along, Congressman LaHood understands the importance of non-motorized transportation. We have another highway going through the village. It's the Rock Island Trail, and that generates a whole lot of business for the community. So hopefully this will also help us accomplish one of our goals, is to have a trailhead along Prospect. That, in my mind, is a way for people to get on and off this highway going through the village. So we want people to come here to Peoria Heights, spend the day, get on the trail, come back, get off the trail. And so, again, this helps us hit and helps us achieve a number of our goals, but that Rock Island Trail, very, very important. So that crossing along Prospect is going to be a real interesting and busy crossing.
Yeah, the only thing that I would add is part of the federal dollars, we have to make sure that it's ADA compliant, American with Disabilities compliant, which every federal project has to have that, so that will be a part of these dollars coming also. Well, thank you, everybody. We look forward to seeing you at the ribbon cutting. All right? That'd be next. All right, thank you. Thanks. Thank you. All right. Yeah, thank you. Good job.